Hey, what's up, Ruben? This is a demo video for you for your custom Starkiller variant made by Nevin over at Space Junk Sabers. This is a very cool hilt. I don't get many of Nevin's stuff come through my door anymore. And Starkiller is one of my favorite sabers. Probably is my favorite saber design of all time. So it was very cool to be able to do this. You would ask me to do something a little bit extra for you, and we'll go over that here in a second. But for now, it is installed with Proffie. It's a 2-button setup. So your front switch here is power. Your back is auxiliary. These are plungers. Okay. You've got a Carl Chen PCB in here for your Neopixel connector. I've got your blade plug right here. I'm not going to put it in right now, but I got it right here. I'll make sure it goes back out with the saber. Of course, you've got a crystal chamber that was included out, and I did make sure that it lights up, so I'll show you that here in a second. This grub screw right here on the emitter next to my pinky, that is your blade retention. All right. How to get to your chassis, what you want to do is come over here from this hose right here. See if we can get that to focus. It comes apart right here. All you have to do is just kind of take this and pop it off just like that. All right, and once you do that, you can just unscrew the handle. Now, if I had gone and just done a regular install, it would have been pretty straightforward. There was plenty of room in here. That's about a 1.1 inch diameter in there. So lots of room to do an install. But what I did for you is I went through and I machined an aluminum sleeve for the chassis, and then I etched it. I do have some blinkies in the chassis, so I went ahead and I milled out a window right here so that you could see them through the chassis, and then another window right here. So each side has 18 Neopixel accents. There's 18 over here and 18 on the other side. And I went through and I milled out a window right here so that you could access the kill switch from outside of the sleeve, so you don't have to take it off so much. And the reason I did that is this is a super tight fit, probably one of the smallest diameter chassis I've ever done, and it made it a super cram food build, but I think it came out pretty cool. All right, you have a Smuggler's Outpost 22mm Nano Elite speaker in there. There's a grub screw right here, and I went ahead and I left it down so that I could easily take the sleeve off. But what you'd want to do when you put this on, you can either just clamp it on like I have right now, or you could back that grub screw up just a little bit to lock this in place. But I'm not having any problems having this stay in place, so you may not even have to use that feature, but it's there in case you ever need it. All right, when taking this off, be super careful. It is a super tight fit. Just go ahead and twist it gently in your hand. Twist it right off the chassis. All right, and this is what it looks like. Very thin material. I don't know if you can even tell, but there is a section in there about this long. It's the length of a Proffie board. I had to go in and I had to internally bore this sleeve, so it was just a little bit wider in diameter, so it would slide over the Proffie board and not ground out any pins. So that's what I did in there. And yeah, this was pretty cool to make. But it made the chassis super small. Something I like to do in my builds, I try to do it whenever I can. I do not like to show any wires. All right, so that was the challenge here. You know, having this 18 pixel strip over here, an 18 pixel strip over here, a speaker, a kill switch, a removable battery, and your board. That's a lot of wires, and I think I did a good job of hiding everything. You'd have to look really close down into one of those grooves to see any wires. All right, you can kind of see the speaker wires right there, but I made a wire path for those. I mean, if you're looking at it straight up and down, you would never see them. And then when you look over on the underside of the board, there's nothing. So I try to make that as clean as I could for you. When putting a battery in, it does matter how you do it. So this is a Keep Power 18650 protected cell. I did take the sticker off. The sticker needs to be off. When you look closely at these in person, it may not show up well on camera. It's not showing up very well, but underneath the wrap, there is a metal strip that goes from one side of the battery all the way to the other side. That has to be right on the edge of the chassis, but not inside of it. And let me show you what I mean. Matter of fact, I'll just mark this with a gray marker real quick. So if I was to show you that battery strip, and it's easy to see in person, you don't have to do this, but on camera, I struggle to draw a straight line, but that's okay. You know, that battery, that strip underneath the wrap runs that entire length of the battery. There we go. So right there underneath the wrap. All right. So when you're putting this in, put it in, you'll notice where I've got that strip right to the edge of the chassis, but still sticking outside of it. Okay. So now we can go ahead and we can put this on. It's important that you put this on the right way because, like I said, I bored out a section of the inside of this to fit over the Proffie board. So if you put this on backwards, it's not going to fit properly. So you got to make sure the notch that's in your sleeve for your kill switch is in the back. And then, of course, you've got the hole there for your grub screw, which is right here in the front. And this piece right here is another piece I machined. It's a coupler, so that I could fit the coupler inside of the saber, and I could have something to slide the sleeve onto. So that's what that is right there on my pinky. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll put this on real quick. Take your time. Because of the tightness, I did have to glue the board down. I wanted to make sure that it didn't move. All right, but just take your time, slide it on. With the battery, it is super tight, but it'll go. So, and yeah, so that's another reason. I don't remember if I said it or not, but that's another reason why I came through here and I milled out that window for that kill switch. So that way you could keep a battery in here. You don't have to fiddle around with this sleeve all the time. Especially with you, I think you just kind of turn them on every now and again, and then turn them back off and put them on a shelf, right? So if you did that and you utilize a kill switch with a fully charged battery, this thing will last a long time before you have to take it off and recharge your battery. All right, but when we get all that in, simply come over here with your finger and flip the kill switch. Now you can see I got your crystal pulsing. Got your LEDs doing this on one side. Now these two on either side match each other. So they're both doing the same thing. All right, until we turn it on. Of course, then your crystal goes solid. Your LEDs in here firing up like they should, and they all react to the auxiliary button being pressed, right? So these react. So does your crystal. And you've got twist off, all right? So when you're done, these are on, I forget if I said it again, it's early in the morning, but these are on a timer. So if you don't turn the saber on right away, they'll time out and turn off so they don't kill your battery. But the sleeve fits right into the handle, just like it should. You can lock the handle down. When you get the handle locked down, come over here, and this piece that we took off earlier, just kind of bend it a little bit and slap it right back into its place, and then it all locks down just like it should. All right, then we could turn it on again. You got good sound venting. The sleeve over the chassis makes that 22 nano fully enclosed, so it has some really good sound. Yeah, all right, so we'll go ahead and we'll throw a blade in here. This is set up for a 7/8 inch blade. All right, I'll put a 7/8 inch blade in here. Go ahead and lock it down. Yeah, sorry. So we'll lock it down. Hard to tell on camera, but this is a green smoke blade. So maybe you can see it on my hand, kind of, you know, going back and forth. But it's a cool blade. all of your soundtracks have sound font, or your sound fonts have soundtracks. So it's a long press on the power when the saber's off. You can turn the saber on when it's playing if you want, right? But to turn it off, it's a long press on the power again. And then, of course, the trade sound fonts hit auxiliary. You got good flash on flash. Blade lockup is a double tap on the auxiliary and holding it down. Or if you find that hard to do, hold down the auxiliary and hit the saber. Like that. It can be a little bit tricky with this button setup. This is a very cool button setup, but when it comes to a blade lockup, you know, I'm trying not to mash down on these too hard. There's just some really small tactiles underneath this clamp section, so you don't have to press them hard at all. But it can be a little bit tricky to activate blade lockup. Not a big deal though. Play with it a little bit, you get the hang of it. Like that, there we go, right? So it took me 10 times before, it only took me 2 times that time.
Now you come before me.
You got a nice unstable blade here. And then you've got twist off if you like as well. All right, so we'll go ahead and take the blade out of here. Whoops. I did the soundtrack for that one accidentally. So we'll pop the blade out of here. When we're done with this, of course, we'll come back and flip this guy out again. Unscrew the handle. That's what it's doing on this particular one. I'll turn this on and show you that the kill switch works. You just come over here. From right here, you can reach it with your finger and turn everything off. All right, and then you can just leave it like that, put it back on the shelf. I'm going to go ahead and open this up because this is my test battery. So again, just very gently unscrew it. It'll get to a certain point that it comes off easily. All right, and then you can come over here from the positive side and pop it out with your finger just like that. And that's basically your custom Starkiller. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me put this back on real quick. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And if not, I will try to get this out in the mail to you first thing Monday morning. All right, thanks, man.